¿Qué onda amigos? ¿Cómo están? Bienvenidos a Maravillas Mecánicas. Primero que nada, muchas gracias por los comentarios del video pasado. Les comento rápido antes de empezar el video. Se está trabajando para entregarles a ustedes un mejor producto. Les doy un pequeño sneak peek, no les voy a decir bien de qué se trata. Pero una sección llamada Watchmaking for Dummies. Se viene también un podcast, una mesa de debate acerca de temas de relojería, etc. Pues bueno, esperemos les guste. Les comento otra vez, está trabajando para entregarles un buen producto a ustedes y pues les guste y crezcamos, ¿no? como canal y como sociedad. Pues bueno amigos, nada más, vamos al video.
Alright, my name is Forsey'S. I'm from MB&F, Entrevisté and Friends. And in a few words, what is this brand about? Well, to understand it, you need to understand Max and his story. Max was the head of major watch brands for about 15 years. In the end, Harry Winston timepieces, he was the CEO there. And he abandoned all that, a very comfortable situation, a lot of admiration from everyone, to start his dream company called MB&F, Entrevisté and Friends. What is this dream company? A few ideas. First of all, creative. That's what he designed the company to be. Everything in the company is structured, designed, conceived to create timepieces. That's what we love to do. Second thing, which is actually a result of that, it needs to remain small. So small company, 20 people, with limited production lines, small number of pieces. We make 250, 280 pieces per year. We don't want to grow beyond that because if we grow too big, then we stop taking risks. And last but not least, the friends. That translates a few things. Number one, that we actually work with people we enjoy working with. So you need to have talent, of course, but you also need to have the same human values. And also we credit them. So when they make a contribution to one of our timepiece projects, we're actually fully transparent. We give the names and the companies each of these key people work for. That's the story of MB&F. The watches themselves, we don't call them watches. We call them machines because to us, it's about mechanical art. They tell the time, of course, but that's not the point. We want to create mechanical art, like little mechanical sculptures for your wrists. Whether it's crazy sculptures like the horological machines, inspired by spaceships and airplanes and race cars, or the more classic ones like the legacy machines, which is what the company could have done maybe 1 or 2 centuries ago. So we play around with those two lines, and more recently we've also added co-creations, which push the artistic and the three-dimensional nature of our machines even further. The co-creations are music boxes, table clocks, pens. We partner with other companies who make other forms of mechanics, other types of machines, and together we create mechanical sculptures. That's the story of MB&F. Well, this is the HM6 Space Pirate in titanium. It's the first HM6 we launched a couple years ago. It's inspired by the spaceship of a Japanese TV cartoon, which we watched when we were kids in the 1970s, 1980s. If you look at that spaceship, it has exactly the same rounded shape. It's also very organic, so it's inspired by the whole biomorphism design movement. 5 spheres, 2 spheres up front for the hours and minutes. So these revolve, of course, to tell you the time. If I show you what happens when the time is passing by, or when I'm setting the time, this is what happens. So the hours and the minutes are always facing towards you when it's on your wrist. Back here we have 2 other spheres with these turbines. They're actually linked to the winding rotor underneath, and when the winding rotor spins, as you can see, the turbines spin. So yeah, they're linked and they act as shock absorbers. When the main rotor spins too hard, too fast, they absorb some of the excessive energy. And the final sphere is, of course, the central one with the 60-second flying tourbillon. Difficult regulating system to create. It's the cockpit of the spaceship, and like any cockpit, it needs to be protected when we go into hyperspace mode. That's what this crown does. You can close it and open it as much as you like. Titanium blades cover this sapphire crystal bubble whenever you need to. It's actually a very comfortable watch on the wrist, despite the unusual shape. The lugs are articulated, as you can see. It's titanium, it's very light. When it's on your wrist, it actually hugs the wrist very nicely. That's the HM6 Space Pirate.
Greubel Forsey is an adventure founded by two watchmakers, Mr. Robert Greubel and myself, Stephen Forsey. We started working together in the 1990s on high-end mechanical wristwatch complication, and at the end of the 90s, 1999, we were talking together and we were discussing what we might be doing as watchmakers in the year 2000. And so we realized we shared a similar vision that perhaps not everything had been invented in watchmaking and there could be some new innovation possible. So we set out from there to work already on the subject of the tourbillon. So 18 years ago now, the tourbillon just existed as a classical miniaturized flat horizontal single cage tourbillon. And so Robert and myself wanted to push that further, adapted to the wristwatch. So this was our primary fundamental work, and we were the first to have inclined and multi-axis tourbillon for the wristwatch. So this was a process which took 4.5 years to develop. When we launched in 2004 with the very first double tourbillon 30-degree vision, we were fortunate to find there were collectors in the world who were understanding and enthusiastic to discover our philosophy and our mission, the voyage we wanted to start. So we were able then to start developing new calibers and build a team. Today, 14 years later, Greubel Forsey has already developed 20 different calibers. We have a possibility to make 100 timepieces a year in total. It's a team of 108 people in La Chaux-de-Fonds, Switzerland, who work together. They are technician, watchmaker, engineer, hand finishers, and so on, who all work together to help us develop each creation, and then be able to build the final timepieces.